Capricorn, I'm Ellie with PsychicFuture.com, and this is your horoscope from the 24th of September to the 30th. So hopefully you got to celebrate autumn equinox last weekend and you did some nice kind of like frivolous indulgent things like eating a big dinner or getting together with friends and family. If you didn't, then don't worry, there's still plenty of time for that this week because the energy of harvest time is still quite strong. And if you need some extra tips, you can go to Psychic Future website. I've got a blog post up with some little ideas of how you can celebrate this changing of the seasons. So this week we're now moving from Virgo season into Libra season. So Libra season is represented by the scales, and this actually reflects exactly on the autumn equinox, what we were talking about in last week's video, where the days and the nights are of exactly equal length. So this is kind of like the gateway or the tipping point between the seasons. We're moving from the sunny, kind of extroverted outer time of year where we're all outside and we're doing nice things and hanging out with each other and focusing on the external world. And then we're crossing this kind of boundary now into the darker half of the year where the days are getting shorter, we're spending more time inside, we're kind of sleeping and being quieter and being more meditative and going within. So this scales kind of metaphor and the symbol for Libra is very helpful actually for us on our self-improvement journey. And that is because if you think about what people usually talk about Libra and the themes that they usually come up with when the sign of Libra is mentioned, are things like an appreciation of beauty, a very charming manner, somebody that's very good at hosting parties and looks very well put together and these kind of things. And a lot of the time this is all very external stuff. So if you think about the nature of opposites, the scales, you've got the light and the dark, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, the external and the internal. So when we talk about these themes for Libra, actually they're all very external and we're missing the other side, the internal. And this is kind of like the cincher of what I'm talking about here, because Libra goes a lot deeper than just nice clothes and charming nature and focus on relationships. There's a deeper side to it, and it is a little bit kind of kooky and metaphysical, so bear with me. So when we look around us, a lot of the time the external world is like a reflection of us on the inside. And if you look at this from the perspective of relationships, this is a really easy one to see it in. When we seek like a romantic partner, a lot of the time we will go for somebody who is like opposite to us, this opposites attract thing. And that is because we seek those qualities in somebody else because we feel like we're lacking them in ourselves. So we think that that person will make us feel whole. Whereas actually what we should be doing is trying to become whole in ourselves without the need for an outer person. Not saying don't have one, but don't try and seek, what you have in somebody else. So there is a psychological concept about this called projection. You might have heard it before. It was come up, it was the psychotherapist Carl Jung who came up with it. And basically what it means is when you meet somebody and you really like something about them, a lot of the time that is because that is a quality that you have within yourself that you're actually not allowing yourself to embody. So it might be, something like, oh, that person really has a really good grip on self-care, which is something that, Capricorns a little bit of the time are not so good at with this self-care thing. So perhaps you meet someone and you think, wow, look at her kind of boudoir and her bubble bath and, her like ice cream sundaes and all this kind of like nice self-care stuff, and always she takes herself on dates and this kind of thing. So if you meet someone and think, wow, I really like that, I think that's really nice, and look at her silk pyjamas and all this kind of stuff. A lot of the time, that's because actually inside of you, there is this self-care goddess that wants to come out, but because you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm not that, but she is, and I like that, and I wish I was like that, then you're not allowing yourself to embody it. And actually it just gets kind of stuffed down, and then you pretend that you're not like that, when actually you would quite like to be like that. And it works on a negative way, a negative spin as well. So if you have ever met somebody and immediately think, oh my God, they are so annoying, or so say for instance somebody at work is not pulling their weight and you think, oh, that's so annoying, I wish they're part of this team project and I wish they'd pull their weight. A lot of the time that is because inside of you, subconsciously, there is some part of you that would like to sit back sometimes and not have to take the kind of lion's share of the work. And actually, when you look at that person that's kind of sitting back and resting on their laurels and not getting as involved as they should, there is a little part of you that thinks, I wish I could do a little bit more of that, but it's not in my nature, so I'm just going to kind of judge it in that person. And actually what you should be doing is letting yourself do that sometimes and kind of having a little bit of that. It's all about this balance again with the scales. It's like, you know, there are every kind of quality within you. It's just that you choose which ones you think are part of your personality or not. So let's bring it back to a practical level. This week, ask yourself some questions. Look at your relationships around you and think, okay, what do I really love about these people in my life? What qualities do I really love in them? And then look at yourself and be like, do I have those qualities within me? And if I feel like I don't, perhaps is there a way I could try to embody those qualities? Is there a way I could try and bring them in, or just try them out for size a little bit and see how it feels? So do that. And then the other one is from a negative perspective, what really, you know, gets my goat? What really bugs me about other people? And is that perhaps something that I am denying in myself, something that I'm repressing in myself, that actually I just need to let it have a bit of airtime so that I can just kind of feel all of my feelings and accept all parts of myself, even the negative ones, and not keep rejecting the parts that I don't think are me. So yeah, this is all about becoming more whole and, you know, seeking the reflection of inner and outer, trying not to like project all of yourself on people around you, and kind of, yeah, become whole in yourself. So yeah, big spiritual stuff this week. I'm going to pick you a tarot card just to give you a little bit of extra insight for the week. So what have we got for Capricorn? Capricorn. Okay, what's this one? Oh, the Ten of Wands. This is funny. This is just like what I was talking about. You might not be able to see this. It's very tiny, little miniature cards. So the Ten of Wands is you're carrying this burden of work. So a little bit like what I was saying before with this office scenario where you know, someone's sitting back and not really doing much, and you're the one that's like leading and carrying all the weight and, you know, moving the project forwards. This is telling you that you're doing an awesome job. Like, you know, you deserve some appreciation for what you are doing right now, because you are carrying a lot, like whether or not it's work, just everything. You are carrying it so well. You have great poise. You know, it doesn't even look like you're breaking a sweat. So, you know, applause for you. That is fantastic. But do remember that at times you can stop and you can put the sticks down and you can have a bit of a break, and you can be that self-care goddess that I talked about before, and get some silk pyjamas and some ice cream and just, you know, just chill out for a little bit. You don't have to carry these sticks all the way. You can take a break. So that's what this one's saying this week. So yeah, enjoy, self-care goddess, and I hope to see you next week. Much love.